How's it going, and welcome to Guitar Effect. My name's Rob. In this episode I'm going to be taking a look at this, the Two Notes Revolt all analog tube amp simulator, right? So what this is this is a 3-channel amp simulator. It's not an amp in a box, it's an amp simulator, right? So what you have is you've got a clean channel, a crunch channel and a lead channel. And the clean channel has gain and volume and then bass and treble. There's a crunch channel which is based on a Marshall Plexi type of sound, and it has its own gain and volume. And then there's a lead channel which is based on a Soldano kind of sound, and it has its own gain and volume. And then you've got bass, middle and treble across those 2 channels. There's a tube, a 12AX7, so that's kind of giving you that tube sort of compression and stuff, which it definitely does have. The tube is not there for no reason. And then there is a separate boost that is engaged whenever you hit the active foot switch. Then if you turn around the back, there is a input, a send and return, an output, and then there's a balanced XLR output for going to your recording interface or to a desk. And then very importantly, there's MIDI in and out. Now, the reason I've bought this is to replace, get it in shot there and get it in the light there. The reason I've bought this is to replace my Koch Studiotone 20 head, which I love dearly and I've been making videos with for 3 years. I've brought it out to my studio to become my live amp for one of my new bands, and I needed to get something to replace it at home. And I've realised that I don't need a cab and I don't need a power amp at home. I only need a preamp for doing all my demos, and so that's why I chose to check this out, the Revolt, and I've been really, really happy with it. I'm not mad on the clean channel, which I'll go into in the audio demos, but the rest of it is fantastic, and I think there's a reason why the clean channel sounds the way it does. It sounds kind of sterile, and I think the reason for that is on purpose, so that it becomes a very neutral pedal platform for demoing pedals. So yeah, that's the Revolt. It's the first in a series of videos I'm going to make about it. This first one, I'm just going over like the general features and using it in a direct context, but I'm also going to make one where I show it as my whole new kind of home recording setup. And then the last video is going to be where I demo it as part of a live rig using MIDI. So there you go. That's the kind of run through. Let's have a listen to it now. Here you go. Okay, so to demo the Revolt, I'm playing this 2014 60th anniversary standard American Strat. Basically, it's just a standard Strat, and it has bare knuckle, what are they called? Bare knuckle veneer board 65 Strat pickups in it that are very 60s sounding, okay? Coming out of the guitar into the Revolt, you'll see this Vox 63 Diamond, or Nux NUX 63 Diamond Vox emulation pedal beside it. I'll explain that in a minute. I'm coming out of the Revolt directly onto a channel on my interface. So that's guitar sound. So one thing you'll notice is that the gain and volume on the clean channel are completely gunned here. The British crunch volume is at 3/4 and the modern lead volume is at 2/3. So all the volumes are pretty gunned. That's simply because there's a bit of a volume imbalance between, as in the signal that this is putting out and I'm going in via the balanced XLR out is very low on the line channel that I have coming in on my interface. It's just the way I have it rigged up, but it's still working and sounds great. So starting with the clean channel then, right? As I mentioned already, the gain and volume here on the clean channel are completely gunned, right? And what's interesting about that is this is supposedly the clean channel is modeled after a Fender Bassman. If the gain and volume on a Bassman were gunned, this would be ripping everybody's head off. It'll be so dirty, and it's not, it's completely clean. Now it does have a slightly more Bassman-ish character in my opinion to the top end. It's not sweet like a Blackface, which I don't really want. As you can hear, there's a little bit of reverb. This pedal doesn't have any reverb on board, so I have a Line 6 M5 plugged into the effects loop, but you can't see it's off screen, and that's where the reverb is coming from. So that's the clean. I'm going to move on now to the crunch channel. Really quick demo, as I said. Here is the Marshall kind of crunch channel. beautiful, really, really luscious, martially sound. That's a gain in a third. This is a gain in 2/3. Now, I think you can hear the analog, tubey nature of this big time. And then it cleans up. And then lastly, moving on to the modern lead channel, kind of picks up where that left off. Got bigger mids, less kind of aggressive high. This is what I would call like the Weezer sound. Like, I haven't had this huge amazing time, but I'm very, very happy with the Marshall and the Soldano sounds. They're really, really great. Okay, so there's your 3 channels, right? Clean, like crunch, and lead. So there are the 3 channels. I'm going to keep this super basic. I'm just going to go through the EQ on the dirty channel now, and I'll do that on the Marshall side. It's a little bit loud. Okay, so the bass, 2/3. Okay, bass rolled off. I like the bass slightly back, and then the mids rolled off. Scoop. Mids pushed. Never ceases to amaze me how much volume increase there is when you increase mid, or perceived volume increase. So I like the mid slightly pushed, and then the treble pushed, and the treble backed off. So a really useful EQ. And then the other feature then in the controls is the boost. So if I go back to the clean section here, okay, so I'm going to stay on this out of phase position for a second. I'm going to show you the boost. So when you hit the active foot switch, the tube turns red and the boost comes on. So boost off, boost on. It doesn't boost enough to get dirty, which is very worth noting. Still crystal clean, it's getting kind of spiky now. In my opinion, the boost doesn't just add volume, it adds treble as well, like upper mids and treble. It's an interesting choice. So then the dirty channel with the boost. It works really well to bring the dirty channel alive. And then the lead channel. Lead channel with the boot. The boost, in my opinion, is designed to bring the most out of the dirty and the crunch and lead channels, which is really interesting. It's almost like the clean preamp on this, or the clean setting on the preamp, is really there to be completely neutral so that you can flavor it with whatever you want, which I think is a very interesting choice. Okay, so moving on then, the last thing I want to talk about is some of the features. So there's a cab sim switch here, which means on this XLR output you can choose to have the cab sim, although here it's more evident. Cab sim on, or cab sim off, which you would never want to do. It's a 4x12 cab sim, which I also think is important, is an important contributing factor towards the American clean sound. At some point I'm going to get the Torpedo cab, I think it's called. They have a new one out, I can't remember what it's called now. They have a new black version of the Torpedo cab that has MIDI capability on it. At some point I'm going to pick that up. I should, so I can load different cabs for different sounds, because I think the 4x12 thing is hurting the clean sound. So that's one feature. There's a cab sim on and off. Then there's an aux in on the front and a headphones out. And on the back, there's MIDI out and MIDI in. As I mentioned, there's an effects loop. But there's another switch here, which is super cool, right? And it's called 4-cable method. You'll notice this Vox pedal here. Well, this Nu X Vox emulation pedal. What 4-cable method does, when the switch for 4-cable method is off, the effects loop acts as a regular effects loop. And you'll hear the reverb, right? The reverb is on the M5 in the effects loop. When you switch that to on, and I put the 63 diamond on, you'll notice no change now. Well, there is, because it's in the effects loop, okay. But when I turn this on and I switch it to this mode where the 4-cable method is on, you can't see the switch here, it's just where my finger is. When I hit these two switches and bypass the unit, now the Vox pedal is active with the onboard cab sim. Now that Vox pedal could be any preamp pedal, and the way this is, how this is designed to work is that the Revolt is basically meant to put in the effects loop. Well, it's actually meant to include the preamp of your, using 4-cable method, the preamp of your amplifier, so that you can bypass these two switches and have your amps preamp, or then at any point turn any of them on and have. And now the Vox. Super useful for live stuff. It basically takes your 1-channel amp and turns it into a 3-channel amp. Think of this as an actual Vox AC30, that right now it's a Vox AC30 preamp. Now it's a Fender. Now it's a Marshall. And now it's a Soldano. And what's really cool about that is being able to activate it like that with the foot switches. So it's a really nice little feature. So yeah, first look, you get 3, I would say you get 1 quite sterile, uninspirational by itself clean channel. I'm not really mad about the clean channel. It's not what I would have hoped for. I got it kind of because of the basement thing going on, but I'm not getting any basement vibes off it. It's very kind of like the newer ones, like the Hot Rod Deluxe kind of feel off it, I think. The crunch and the lead channels are fantastic. And I think with a different cab and power amp simulation, you could get a better clean sound out of the American clean. But I will say, the reason I bought this was because I wanted to be able to use it as a standalone unit. Now I could put a different Fender emulation pedal in instead of the Vox, which I probably will do. Even like the Joy or American sound would improve on the clean sound. But other than that, the way it's engineered, the way it's thought out is really, really brilliant, and I'm really happy with it. And also, incidentally, you can get a pretty cool cleanish Marshall sound by using the dirty channel. All in all, first impressions as a home recording thing, like even just for jamming, for demoing other pedals, really, really brilliant choice. So there you go. The Two Notes Revolt, like amp simulator, but fully analog amp simulator. So as I said, this is the first video in a series of 3. This one is only using the emulated output with the cab sim on, right? Which is the way I'm going to use the vast majority of the time for making videos. That's why I bought it. I wanted a fully analog solution to replace a fully analog solution I had previously. The next episode, I'm going to show how I would use it using IORs, using their Genome plugin along with it, which is really impressive actually. And I'll also be showing how I use it with external pedals and stuff like that to get different guitar sounds for recording. And in the last video, like I said earlier on, I'm going to show it in the live setup where I'm going to pair it with the HX effects and show how you could use the HX effects for all your effects and then use this for all your different distortion tones. Straight out of the gate, it does exactly what I thought it would do. Like I said, I'm a little bit underwhelmed with the clean channel, but I understand why they have it the way they have it. And I'll also say thanks very much to Revolt, because they didn't give me this for free, but they did give me a discount on it. And I've been really impressed with it, and I think it's going to do the job that I wanted to do exactly right. So if you've gotten this far, as always, I say thank you for watching. And if you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, throw them in the comment section down below. I'll be happy to answer them. So yeah, that's it. First video of a series of 3 about the Two Notes Revolt. Great piece of kit. And I'll see you in another video again soon. Take it easy. Bye-bye.